Level 13, Déjà Vu, is so called because nearly every room has two solutions depending on which way you want to exit. And if you choose the wrong direction from the first room, you can find a chain of solutions leading from room to room, and it won't be until nearly the end of the level that you realise there are some parts you can't get to. And many of these alternative solutions to the individual rooms are so interesting that just for this video, I am going to show you the incorrect solution first. So we leave this first room to the right, like this. We move this explosive jar into place because there's another one over here that can be used to detonate it. And just showing you this gap in the floor leads nowhere because of that dots force field. This explosive jar must be pushed down. It does us no good if it's detonated in the square it starts in. And we use the fish to detonate it. Down here, to do anything with that jar, we need to block it with a chicken so that it will land directly under the fish. Now, in this part, imagine we're to the right of that fish. If we push it left and push the chicken down, the masks in the top left will be trapped. So do we reach them from below? Well, no, because if we move under that bomb, the fish will fall on it and kill us. And yet, in this room, the ceiling is solid all the way along. We cannot get around that fish from this side. So we can't make any further progress, so let's go back and see if what we've learnt can help us to make progress in this direction. This bomb is not difficult. And here, if we push the left chicken down, the other one will detonate the bomb, and we might need that bomb later, so I'll use the other chicken. Now, if we had mapped this level out on graph paper, because as you see I've not got any map pieces, we'd realise that if I push that explosive jar into there, it will bring us to the lower room, but to the right of that fish, which is no use. So we push the explosive jar and chicken down. You'll see why I need both. It's because when we detonate the bomb, there's another bomb blocking our way. So we use the chicken on the second bomb, and here, just move that explosive jar to the far left, and that will allow us to get round the left-hand side of the fish in the lower room. Now we can get all these masks, and now I could switch to Magus, but his part of the level is the same in the correct solution, so this is where I'm going to leave you, and I have a strange feeling we've been here before. Okay, this time we're going up the top left, which is slightly harder to access, but it's done like this. We leave the bomb and fish behind because they're not very helpful to us. And this next puzzle is a very beautiful one. How do we get that bomb anywhere useful without losing it in the maze of force fields? Well, if we line up the chickens like that, then they will both move left, and that leaves the bridge in place for the bomb to be brought across. In the next room, we just have to let the jar fly to the far left, because that gives us access to these masks, which could not be got in the incorrect solution. This jar, which earlier we used on the far left, here, its way of getting past that dots force field. So we're in this room again. We explode this jar the same way as before, but there's an added twist, which is that since we're exploding that bomb from this side, we use these fish to do it, like so. Now in the lower room, as well as getting these masks, I push the jar and chicken down to clear some space. You'll see why that's important later on. I push the chicken here so that a bomb can be put on top of it to give us access to the rooms on the left. But here you see I can't clear those waves force fields from below, so I'll have to go round. We gain access to this room in the same way as before. And this next bit is a very clever puzzle. There's a fish to the left that I have to get a bomb past the fish. And the way to do that is to put it there, then bring the bomb down, and, yes, put the bomb on top of the fish, then go all the way around it again, like so. And of course I've left this fish here so it can be used. And I have a strange feeling I've been in this room before. Yes, this is solved in the same way as before, but here, because we're not trying to gain access to the lower corridor, we can just leave that jar where it is. Now this puzzle, you don't have to do anything here. But since I discovered what the intended solution to this puzzle is, and since it is such a beautiful one, I can't resist showing it to you anyway. So we put the bomb there, and move it to the right. I'm going to use that bomb to blow a hole in the right-hand wall of this room. And that's what this fish is for. That opens up access between the left and right halves of the level, so I could now unite the two shields. I'm not going to, because Magus' first puzzle, which I originally thought had to be done with only one shield, is the most beautiful and hardest puzzle on the entire game. How on earth do you open access to that door? It's not too bad with both shields, but it's very difficult with one, and so I cannot resist showing you how it's done with just one shield. So, first of all, that explosive jar is what must be used. It must be brought all the way down. And the problem is getting it past the dots force field, which will send it flying off to the left if we let it get that far. So we clear the force field and use this fish and chicken instead to create a bridge there. That chicken must be got out of the way, and now we can start bringing it down past these two fish, which can then be reused to complete the bridge like so. The fish can be brought down here, but now I don't push this fish immediately. I go up and push this one, and you will see why very soon. That allows the jar to be brought down this far. Be careful, if you push it down any further, then you can't continue pushing it because of the chicken. So the fish and chickens have to be cleared like this. That allows us to detonate the jar, and let's just go up here. We get a map piece and a few masks. Nothing special, but it is important to get these before you trap them. And now we can see we need a horizontal bomb there. Yes, just clear that chicken out of the way. That's why we moved the upper fish, because it gives us room to move a bomb down. And this area is quite tricky. First we need to move and detonate this bomb to give us space to push another bomb down. Then we come up here, and we can't even see all of this, but we have to work out, we have to push that fish like so, then push this fish onto the bomb, because otherwise if we push the bomb out first, it would be impossible to get the fish out of the room, and we do need that fish. We need that fish because the other one is going to be used later on. Yes, this is a very difficult puzzle. This level took me 2 entire days to solve. It is the hardest level on the game, in my opinion. Okay, we're through. The two shields are reunited this way, and now we're back to the old familiar standby of using them together to bring the bomb into place. It's the last thing we need to do to create access to the door. I'll just clear up these last few masks. And the fish that we left there earlier, well, yes. Now we see why. And finally we get the second to last letter. What's it going to be? It is... It's a Z. See you next time.